It was a sunny afternoon in Virginia when a unique encounter unfolded in the aisles of a Walmart. Barron Trump, casually browsing the store, turned a corner near the electronics section and noticed a commotion ahead. A small crowd had gathered around two young women, and the tension in the air was palpable. As he moved closer, Barron could hear raised voices and catch snippets of the heated conversation. He stood quietly at the edge of the crowd, observing the exchange between Olivia, a black woman in her mid-20s, and Clarice, a white woman of the same age. Olivia was speaking firmly, her frustration evident. "I don't appreciate being spoken to like that," she said, her arms crossed tightly. Clarice, on the defensive, snapped back. "Well, maybe if you didn't bump into me like that, none of this would have happened. I don't have to put up with your attitude." The crowd shifted uneasily, exchanging glances. Some tried to ignore the escalating tension, while others seemed to hold their breath, waiting for the situation to either calm down or spiral further. Barron, standing at a distance, observed the interaction with quiet attention. A man in a blue cap muttered to his companion, "I don't know how this is going to end, but it's going to be bad." As Olivia's arms tightened and Clarice glared in defiance, it was clear neither woman was willing to back down. Just as the confrontation seemed on the brink of escalation, Barron, with surprising calmness, stepped forward. "Excuse me," he said in a clear voice, drawing both women's attention. "What's going on here?" Olivia, taken aback by his sudden presence, gestured toward Clarice. "She's been rude for no reason," she said, her frustration bubbling over. Clarice, not to be outdone, pointed at Olivia. "She shoved past me and then glared at me. I wasn't about to let that slide." Barron took a deep breath, not choosing sides, but offering a respectful tone. "It sounds like both of you are upset, but yelling won't get us anywhere. Maybe we can talk this out calmly." The surrounding onlookers went silent, surprised by Barron's mature approach. Olivia hesitated, eyeing Barron for a moment, and then turned her gaze to Clarice. The heated energy in the air seemed to dissipate as Barron's composed demeanor subtly shifted the mood. Before the conversation could continue, a security guard arrived, his hand resting on the radio clipped to his belt. "Is there a problem here?" he asked, surveying the group. Barron looked at the guard and said, "I think it's under control now. We just need a moment to talk." The guard, still unsure, glanced at the women before nodding reluctantly. "All right, but keep it civil." Barron, sensing an opportunity for resolution, suggested, "Why don't we move to a quieter spot? We can sort this out away from the crowd." There was an awkward pause, but after a beat, Olivia sighed. "Fine," she muttered, clearly unwilling to prolong the argument. Clarice, though clearly still irritated, nodded and agreed to follow. As they moved toward a quieter corner of the store, the crowd slowly dispersed. The tension had been diffused, for now at least, and people couldn't help but wonder how a teenager had managed to step in and calm a potentially explosive situation. In the more peaceful corner of the store, Barron took the lead. "Let's take a step back," he said to both women. "Olivia, can you tell me your side of the story?" Olivia took a breath before answering. "I was walking through the aisle when she bumped into me. I turned to say something, and before I could even speak, she started accusing me of being rude. All I wanted was an apology." Barron nodded, understanding the frustration. "Okay, and Clarice, what about you?" Clarice rolled her eyes, but spoke reluctantly. "I was just trying to get through. She wasn't looking where she was going, and when I bumped into her, instead of apologizing, she gave me this look. I've had enough of people being rude, and I wasn't going to let it go without saying something." Barron absorbed their words, then spoke thoughtfully. "It sounds like this was just a misunderstanding that escalated, right? Neither of you was trying to hurt the other?" Both women if this is a chance to make things better instead? Olivia frowned slightly, clearly skeptical. What do you mean? I mean, Barron replied calmly, instead of walking away from here angry, what if you both walked away with a little more understanding, maybe even a bit of respect for one another? Clarice raised an eyebrow. Respect? After all that? Barron smiled gently. I think it's possible. You're both strong, confident women, and it takes real strength to let go of a grudge. For a moment, there was silence. Both women looked at him, and then Olivia let out a reluctant laugh. You sound like my mom. She's always saying to take the high road. Barron grinned. Sounds like a wise woman. Clarice, still slightly unsure, finally cracked a small smile. Maybe you're right. It's just, I've been dealing with so much today, I didn't want to let anything slide. Olivia nodded. Yeah, I get that. I'm sorry if I came off too strong. And I'm sorry for being rude, Clarice admitted. Barron clapped his hands together. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You both just turned this whole situation around. Well done. The atmosphere shifted from tension to a sense of relief. Both women seemed to relax, and even though the conversation had been a little awkward at times, the understanding between them was clear. The drama had been diffused, not by force, but by the willingness to listen and find common ground. As they stood together in that corner of the store, a Walmart manager and the security guard approached, seemingly unaware of the resolution that had just taken place. Is everything okay? The manager asked, looking at the group. Barron smiled and nodded. Yes, it's all good. Just a misunderstanding that's been worked out. The manager seemed satisfied and waved them off. As he and the guard left, Olivia turned to Barron, a genuine smile on her face. You know, you're different, she said. Most people wouldn't have stepped in like that. Barron shrugged modestly. I just believe in finding a way to make things better. Clarice, her earlier defensiveness now gone, smiled. Yeah, you really do seem like someone who knows how to handle things. Well, thanks, Barron said. I just try to do the right thing. As the two women walked away, Barron was left standing quietly in the store. It wasn't about fame or recognition. It was about doing what felt right, even when no one was watching. The rest of the afternoon passed without incident. Barron finished his shopping and headed to the checkout, blending in with the other customers. But as he paid for his items, a few whispers rippled through the line. That's Barron Trump, isn't it? Yeah, the way he handled that situation earlier, it was impressive. Barron kept his head down, pretending not to hear the comments. He didn't seek attention, but he couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment. He had made a difference today, in a small way, just by choosing to intervene when others might have walked away. As he exited the store, Barron noticed Olivia and Clarice waiting outside. They had apparently stuck around, perhaps to reflect on the exchange. When they saw him, they waved him over. Hey, Barron, Olivia called. We were just talking about you. Good things, I hope? Barron responded with a friendly smile. Definitely, Clarice said. We were saying how rare it is for someone to step in and help like you did, especially someone your age. Barron smiled humbly. I just did what anyone would do. Olivia shook her head. No, most people wouldn't have, but you did. That says a lot about you. Thanks, Barron said quietly. It's just the right thing to do. As the two women nodded in agreement, Barron couldn't help but feel like this brief moment of connection had made a difference. It was proof that, sometimes, taking a stand for kindness can go a long way. And with that, Barron walked away from Walmart, feeling like he had done something worthwhile, even if it was just in the small moments that no one else might notice.